All right, geometry. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. I eventually tried to record this video and forgot to put sound with it, so I'm going to be going through this video and putting my audio with it now. So we're going to look at areas of regular polygons and finding the area of composite figures using lesson 11.2. So let's go ahead and get into it. First thing we're going to look at are some of our definitions. So when we're looking at some definitions, we're going to fill those in and then also draw some pictures with them. So first thing we have, I'm going to kind of fast forward through these and then pause as we kind of see fit. So we have the definition of a center of a regular polygon. That's going to be the center of the circle circumscribed about the polygon. So in a moment, you're going to see me draw a picture of a circle, maybe less than perfect here, but essentially we have a circle, and then inside that circle we're going to have a polygon. In this case, I'm going to use a pentagon. And the center of the pentagon is also going to be the center of a circle. We're going to name that point P. So point P will be the center. The next thing we have is the radius of a regular polygon. It can still be the radius of a circle. Essentially, we're going from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle, which would also be, in this case, the corner of the pentagon. We'll name that point S, so we can say that PS segment is the radius. Next up, we will have the apothem of a regular polygon, and that is going to be the perpendicular segment between the center of the polygon and the side of a polygon. So not necessarily the radius. In this case, we're going to name this one PQ. So notice how from the radius to the edge of the polygon, we have a perpendicular segment or angle. So PQ would be the apothem, and apothem is also going to be shorthand as letter A. The last thing we have is a central angle of a regular polygon. That is the vertex at the center of the polygon and sides that pass through consecutive vertices of the polygon. So in this case, not QPS, but RPS is going to be considered the central angle, because we have from R to S, those are two vertices, so R back to the center and then out to S. How we find the measure of a central angle is we take 360 and divide it by the number of sides we have. So 360 divided by 5 will be 72 degrees. So angle RPS would be 72 degrees. Before we continue on here, just make sure you've got all these copied down, and then we'll go ahead and get started with our next part of our questions. So next up we have the area of a regular polygon formula, and we're going to use 1/2 times AP, where A is your apothem and P is your perimeter. Remember, perimeter is just adding up all the outside edges together. Again, make sure you have this written in your notes. Let's start with example 1. So example 1, we are given two numbers here. The first number we're given is 7 feet, and that is representing the apothem because it's from the center of your triangle, and it's also showing that perpendicular relationship. The other number we're given is 24.2, and that's going to help us find the perimeter. So 24.2 times 3 sides is going to give us 72.6. So we're going to take our formula of 1/2 times the apothem times perimeter and plug that in. Sometimes you can even take 1/2 and make it 0.5 if you want, if that's easier. In this case, I'm just doing 1/2 of 7, which would be 3.5, and then times that by 72.6, which is our entire perimeter, and we should get about 254.1. Erase right there. There we go. So 254.1 feet squared. The next one, you can pause here and try this one on your own. Find this using the apothem, using your perimeter, and find your area. When you're ready to check, go ahead and click play. So I just got right into this one. My apothem is 16, and perimeter, I can find this by doing 13.3 times the number of sides. This is an octagon, so 13.3 times 8 is going to give me 106.4. So then I'll take my apothem, perimeter, and set it equal to my area's formula. So 1/2 of the apothem, 1/2 of 16 times 106.4, or even 8 times 106.4 is going to give us 851.2 square centimeters. Ta-da! Example 3, this is where we're now given the apothem but no side length, so we're going to do a few different things here. What we're going to need to do is think about trigonometry, so SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent. Also thinking about finding my central angle as well. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is find that central angle. And I don't know why it's cutting off here, but step 1 is finding your central angle. That is taking your 360 divided by the number of sides, and then you can do that central angle help you find your side length. And you might want to use, the reason why I want that is we need to find our perimeter as well. Okay, so central angle is first up. This is where I take 360 and times it by the number of sides. Right now I'm highlighting the central angle, but notice that central angle has two smaller triangles within, so we're going to keep that in mind as we move forward. So 360, and then I said divide by 5, but this is divided by 6 because it's a hexagon. We get 60 degrees. However, because I have two smaller triangles here, I'm going to take that 60 degrees and cut it in half one more time, and that's going to give me my 30 degrees, which is what I'll start with. I'm also going to label my apothem, which is the height of my smaller triangle, and I'm looking for S, a part of the side length. When we talked about trigonometry before, we talked about using trigonometry to find missing side lengths in right triangles. So this is 30, and I have from the angle 30 an opposite to adjacent. So because I have opposite to adjacent here, I'm going to end up using tangent of 30 is equal to S over 5. And how I solve for S is I'm just going to multiply 5 times the tangent of 30 and get a decimal that I may have to simplify, and we'll see that here in a moment. So decimal we should get right away is 2.89. Now, that means that both of these smaller triangles have a side length of 289, but what I want to know for perimeter is the entire length. So really that's just 289 plus 289, or 289 times 2, and we're going to get about 5.78. Now I have everything I need to find my perimeter. 5.78 times 6 sides is going to give us 34.68. And now I'm going to plug that into my formula. 1/2 of my apothem, 5, times perimeter, 34.68, gives me a grand total of we're going to round this to 86.7 square meters. Okay, so letter B would be a good idea for you to try it on your own. You can pause here, try that one, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. All right, so one thing I did is I started off with finding my central angle. So that's 360 divided by 5 sides. You get 72. And then keeping in mind that central angle is making two smaller triangles, so we're going to take 72 and cut it in half one more time to give me 36. So 36 is that top angle we're going to use first. And then I'm given the apothem, so I'm going to also label my apothem. I don't know the side length, so you can label that X or S. So really that's, again, tangent of 36 is opposite to adjacent, so X over 10. And then to find X, I'm going to multiply 10 by the tangent of 36. We're going to get about 7.27 for your side length. So I'm going to label that here. And then that means both of them are 7.27. So together we can make 14.54. And that would be how I find my perimeter. So I have 5 sides, so timesing that by 5, 14.54 times 5 is going to be 72.7. Plug that all in now. We're going to come up with area is equal to 1/2 of 10 times 72.7, and we should get about 363.5 inches squared. Depending on when you round, you might be a little bit off from me, but for the most part, you should be pretty close. All right, next up is we have when we're given the side length, then we got to find the apothem. So still using SOHCAHTOA here, still using your central angle, but maybe we'll have to switch up what angle we use, or maybe we don't use tangent, maybe we use sine or cosine. So just be comfortable with those. First things first, I'm going to separate this into my central angle. I have 6 sides, so 360 divided by 6, I get 60. But then again, thinking about cutting those in half into 2 smaller triangles to get my apothem, we're going to use 30 as my special angle at the top, but I might not use that 30, so here's why. 22 is my entire length, so half of that would be 11. Now, typically I could do tangent of 30 is equal to 11 over a, but that would require me to do an extra step to solve apothem. So instead, I'm going to take the complement, or my other angle here, which is going to be 60 degrees, and now I can use tangent of 60 is equal to a over 11, which is a little bit easier to solve, maybe one less step in my mind. So tangent of 60 is equal to a over 11. Really, I'm just multiplying 11 times tangent of 60. It could have still worked if you used the 30. I just preset and do it this way. Again, many ways to try these things. A is going to end up giving us 19.05. So now I have everything I need. I have my apothem is 19.05. 22 is there, so help me find perimeter. So 22 times 6 should give me 132. So taking my formula, 1/2 of 19.05 times 132 is going to give me 1,000. Oh, it's taking me so long in this recording. 1,257.3 square yards. Okay. Again, letter B will be up to you to solve on your own. So if you want to pause here, you can. And when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. All right, first up is always figuring out your central angle. This has 8 sides, so an octagon, so 360 divided by 8 gives us 45. But then we're taking that 45 and still cutting it in half to use those smaller true triangles, so 22.5 will be my magic smaller number I'm using. And then 14 is that entire side length, so we'll also use half of that, excuse me, which will be 7. So 7, and then apothem's missing, but 22.5 is there. Again, I find the complement of 22.5, so I can still use tangent of opposite over adjacent without doing an extra step in my mind. So I found the complement of 22.5 is 67.5. So tangent 67.5 is equal to a over 7. And then really just multiplying 7 by tangent of 67.5. We get about 16.89, lots of decimals, but we're going to round that to be about 16.90. Once we have our apothem, then we'll plug that in once we have our perimeter as well. So 14 is our side lengths times 8. 14 times 8 is 112. So I'm going to plug that into our entire formula, 1/2 of 16.90 times 112, and we'll fast forward here, 946.4 square meters. Extra example here, I threw this in, this wasn't originally in your notes, but still a good one to try. Now we're given the radius, so how can I use the radius to find the area? Still want to start the same way. 360 divided by 6 is 60 degrees. Cutting in half, I'm going to get 30. Okay. Keep in mind, 14 is what we're given. That is not the apothem or the side length. Instead, that's a radius, which ends up actually being the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So I need a few things. I need the apothem and the side length. So an extra step here, I'm going to start with the apothem. This one I'm going to use cosine because apothem is adjacent and 14 is hypotenuse. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cosine of 30 times 14 can give me my apothem of 12.12, and that was just rounded. The next thing I need to find is the side length. So again, still using that 30, but now I'm going to talk about the opposite and hypotenuse, which would be sine of 30. And hypotenuse is 14, so I'm going to multiply sine of 30 times 14 to find my answer. And I should get 7 as a portion of my side. So if one side is 7, the other side will also be 7, so in all I'm going to see 14. Interesting enough, that's also the same thing as a radius here. Not always is that perfectly going to happen, but sometimes you notice. Sometimes you notice that'll happen. So 14 for all 6 sides. Now I can find my perimeter. So perimeter is 14 times 6, which will be 84. And then plugging all this in, 1/2 of the apothem at 12.12 times 84 should give us about 509.04. And that'll be units squared. Okay. Last little bit, composite figures. You've actually been doing composite figures since you were a little kid. And that is when you have a figure with 2 or more basic polygons to make one figure. So things that you have been doing since you were a little child, whenever you would draw like a picture of your house, you would typically do a square with a triangle, and that's essentially what a composite figure is. You have 2 basic figures put together. What we're going to do now is just find the area of both the shapes and add them together. In some cases you'll subtract, but in the example I give you here, we're just going to add. If you want to try this one on your own, feel free, but I'm going to go and start working through this one. The first figure I'm going to find is the area of the square. That one's pretty easy. All those 1 tick marks are going to be 9, so the square can be found by taking 9 by 9, which is 81 square centimeters. The second figure I see is a trapezoid. I think a trapezoid is easier to find than a hexagon, so I'm going to go and start with that one. Trapezoid's formula is 1/2 height times the sum of the bases. So the height is 19, and your base is 9 and 15. 9 plus 15 is going to give me 24. So I'm just going to do 24 times 19, and then divide that by 2. Fast forward here just a little bit, and I'm going to get 228. So what I've done now is I've started on the hexagon, trying to find my apothem. I know my side length is 4.5 and 6 is sided, so 360 divided by 6 is 60, cut in half is 30. So I'm seeing opposite to adjacent. I could do tangent of 30 is equal to 4.5 over a, or I could do tangent of 60 is a over 4.5, which is what my brain preferred here. So I did just that. Tangent of 60 times 4.5 will give me my apothem. You might have found it a different way, but in this case, the apothem should be about 7.8 maybe, or 7.79. So now that I have that, I can plug that into my formula, finding my perimeter as well. 9 by 6 is going to give me 54, so 1/2 of my apothem, 7.79, times my perimeter of 54 will give me 210.33. And then now that I have all 3 areas, I'm just going to take all those and add them together. So 81 plus 210.33 plus 228 will give us a grand total of 519.33 square centimeters. Square centimeters, not 2. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helps you get through some of those questions about area of polygons. As always, tune in next time when we talk about area of sectors of circles. Have a great day. Bye.